That is correct. Yes. I'm hanging in there. Thank you very much. How are you? Good. 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 Hey, that's my pleasure. I'm very excited. Originally, I am from New York City. I was born and raised in the Bronx, New York. My parents were from Italy, and no, I don't speak any other languages, unfortunately. Although hopefully, hopefully that will change before I'm dead. Like hopefully, I'd love to learn Italian and possibly even Spanish as well before I'm dead. My dream is to one day I'm just going to leave the United States. I'm going to go live in Italy, in the south of Italy, and work on my tan and learn Italian. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Keep your fingers crossed for me. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I actually went to the school that in New York City is it was called well now it's called the LaGuardia High School for the Arts. But back in the day when I went to high school, it was the did you ever see the movie Fame or the TV series Fame? That's the school that I went to with performing arts and music and art. I was a vocal major. I was a singer. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was well. That's a difficult question. Because I will tell you that I started as a child actor. I was a little kid when I started working professionally as an actor. So I've been doing this for many, 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 many years. Um, so it would be hard. It would be hard to pick a favorite. Although I can tell you that I did a, I created a TV show. It started out as a web series, and then it ended up on Amazon. It's still on Amazon, I believe. It's a sitcom. There are 5 seasons of it up on Amazon. It's called Child of the '70s. I wrote it, and I'm in it, and many many people who I love and adore are in it, and produced it. It was a huge, huge, huge undertaking. It took years and years to get it done and to sell it and to get it up on Amazon and all that stuff. But I love it. And certainly it's up there in my favorites just because it was such a personal project for me, doing all of that stuff and being a part of it for so long. That's the dream for an actor to be able to have a job that goes on for years and years. So I was lucky, and it all worked out. Yeah. So check it out, Child of the '70s. You can find it on Amazon. Okay. Food. I like to eat. I'm Italian. I like to eat. What motivates me to get up in the morning? That's a terrific question. I'm I guess I'm a little bit of a hustler. I don't guess. I am a little bit of a hustler, meaning that I like to be moving. I like to be doing stuff. I like to work every day. I like to. I don't do well with downtime. I should probably work on that a little bit, but I like to constantly be working. I like acting. I like to if I'm not working on a particular project as an actor, I'm at home like writing stuff, creating projects. As you know, I'm in the midst of being a part of a group right now. We're creating a whole new project, a new YouTube channel, a whole new series. So I guess what yeah I'm filled with ambition and I'm filled with drive. So like I'm one of those people who as soon as my eyes open in the morning, like I'm out of bed and I have a list of things that I need to do that day, and I'm like constantly crossing things off of my list. Um, I always, there's a great episode of American Dad where the CIA gives him a pill so that he doesn't have to sleep, like he can stay up for 24 hours. I want that pill. Sleeping is great. Yeah, I mean, I want that pill, and sleep is great. I enjoy sleeping. But if I had 24 hours to do things, I feel like I would use them. Okay. I There's an actor, movie actor and theater actor. His name is Al Pacino. You know this guy? Scarface? Okay, thank you. He was in The Godfather and Scarface, and one of my favorite movies of all time, which is Dog Day Afternoon, um, Scent of a Woman. I could probably name a million different movies that he's in, and he's great. So when I was a kid, I saw one of his movies, and I was so fascinated by him. I was mesmerized. And he's an Italian guy, and he's also from the Bronx. And I knew from a very, very early age that that's what I wanted to do. That I wanted to be an actor, and I was also a singer and a dancer, and I wanted to be in movies, and I wanted to be on the stage. And then a few years after that, I was able to see him in a play. Since I grew up in New York, I could go to Broadway shows. So I saw him in a play in a very, very tiny theater in Greenwich Village, and it was a theater in the round, which means that the stage is actually a circle, and around it is the audience. And so I was sitting in the first row of this tiny theater, and Al Pacino was in this play, and he was like inches away from me, so I could watch him, and I could really see, like I could literally feel the heat coming off of his body, and again I was mesmerized. I thought it was so I couldn't believe that a human being could have that much talent, have that much presence, personality, and passion and focus. It was incredibly inspiring. And to this day, I still think that he's one of the greatest actors, certainly one of the greatest actors alive, possibly one of the greatest actors ever to come out of the United States. No, I do not. I don't. So I don't know where it came from. It was in my DNA somehow. It was in my genes. I don't know, but yeah, no, there was nobody in my family who was in show business in any way. So it truly came out. It truly was sent to me. It was divine intervention, maybe. I don't know. Uh, well, that's a big question. Um, I'm curious what it means to you first before I answer that question. Yes. Uh, got it. I think I mean, obviously there are issues that are beyond our control. There's brain chemistry that is beyond our control that could theoretically um, be fixed with medication. Um, and there are personality disorders as well, which are behavioral. And I guess I will answer this question by saying that I believe I stay mentally healthy. Well, first of all, because we all have moments of depression. We all have moments of sadness. I've experienced death of very close people, so I've experienced grief, and so we've all experienced moments of that kind of stuff. And especially as an actor, uh, because it's always so precarious. You never know when you're going to get your next job. Oftentimes, you don't even know where you're going to get your next meal. It's all very precarious and it's all very scary. But I think I force myself to stay positive. meaning that whenever I find myself drifting into a negative space, I stop myself and I focus on gratitude. I focus on the things that I have. I'm very lucky. I have a career. I have friends. I have uh, I have a place to live. I have a car that works most of the time. I have two cats who I love. Um, I have good teeth. Whatever, anything. I ate this morning. Um, all of that stuff. Uh, that I believe keeps me focused. That I believe keeps me grounded. That keeps me healthy mentally. Um, Not that I deny the, we put a judgment on things and we call them negative, things like depression. I don't deny that. I don't try to ignore it. If I'm feeling it, I feel it. I'm also, because I am a writer, I like to write. So I'm a big journal writer. Besides writing like projects and stuff, write every day in a journal. And that definitely helps me stay grounded. And when I write my feelings down on a piece of paper or in a book, and I can see them like clearly right in front of me, uh, things get clearer for me. Um, I'm able to understand them better. Uh, uh, so I think all of those things are things that I do in order to stay mentally healthy. And I often think that I don't want to use the word battle, but for all of us, I think it's a mountain that we have to keep climbing, um, that never lets up. But I think that's part of the human experience. Yeah, I think maybe I've just been very lucky, but I do feel like I've always had this capacity to move forward, even in difficult times. Um, uh, like I said, I've experienced a lot of death around me with friends and family and stuff, very close people to me. Um, and grief is a hard one. Grief is a long, arduous process. Um, but I do feel like, however this has happened, I do have the capability to continue to move forward. Um, and I understand that other people don't have it easy. Uh, and I'm not saying that I've had it easy. I just feel like I have been able somehow to continue to move forward, to move through it. So I guess the answer to your question is no. I've never had the experience where I felt um, like depression or anything like that actually has actually stopped me from doing anything. I've always been able to sort of power through. Uh, well, okay. I think that the first two things that come to my mind actually have a lot to do with this experience that I've recently been a part of, which you may know about, which is all the protests and strike that we went on, the actors went on. Are you aware of all of this? Okay, okay. So I think two things that have always really been very, very important to me in myself and in other people, and that is integrity and honesty. Um, to uh, to be honest with people, as honest as you can possibly be to people, without hurting people's feelings and stuff. That's not what I mean. I mean, like, and being honest with myself, like really sort of exploring how do I actually really feel in this particular moment about this particular situation, and what do I honestly want to do about it, and then being honest with other people and having integrity, having um, the ability to live my principles And that's why that was one of the reasons how this whole strike sort of came about. I felt like, and others, not just me, of course, many others, we all felt that it was important um, to speak our truth and and to do it with a sense of integrity and honesty. Yeah. So I keep going back to those two words, honesty and integrity. Those things are really important to me, and important to me as far as other people are concerned as well. When you never know people until you know them, they say. And when you find out that people are not being honest with you, or when you find out that people don't have the courage of their convictions, um, that's when you have to step back. And with this particular situation recently, it's been interesting uh, because a lot of the people who I worked with were my friends, and but then you get to see when they make certain choices and certain decisions, you get to see other sides of them, and then you get to decide honestly whether these are people who you want in your life or not. And it's okay to say no, I don't want these people in my life. Um, and so when you find out that people lack integrity or that people are not being honest, I often think that that's a gift actually when you find that out about someone, because then you can go, oh, great. Thank you for letting me know that you are a person who that you are not a safe person. Um, so so yeah, I think that's my answer to your question. I think yes, yes, yes. Oh gosh, that's so funny. Uh, because I worked there at that place for I think almost 3.5 years, something like that. And in the beginning, especially, I had many people, write messages to me on like whatever Instagram or send me leave comments and stuff like that. Basically confusing me with the characters that I was playing there. It was very interesting that people had a difficult time distinguishing me from the character. And in the beginning, of course, it was so upsetting. I was like, oh my God. And so I would try to write back to everybody and say, listen, I'm just an actor. I have been given these lines to say. This is not me in real life. Um, I, you know, and then finally, I mean, it got to be so much that I kind of had to stop doing that. I would just sort of hope that people would get it, that realize that we're actors. We're all just actors doing a job, and nobody's filming my real life. It's not a reality show. Um, so and then there were the people, and this of course was always very nice. People who would write me comments something like, "Oh my God, I hate you so much, and that means you're a good actor because you're doing it so well. You make me want to hate you." Um, so that was cool. You hope for those people who understand what you're doing and enjoy it for what it is. Um, so yeah, right, yeah. Thank you. Well, that was kind of the last straw for me. After many years of feeling sort of abused in one way or another, there was a fan event last December. There was a Christmas movie, and which I was in, and there was an event. There was a premiere, a movie premiere, at a theater here in Los Angeles, California, in Hollywood. And yes, in fact, it was a fan event, which I found out meant that fans had bought tickets to this event. And we're going to watch the movie. And I was like, oh, okay, that'll be fun. We're all going to watch a movie together. And in fact, we were told that there was a separate section where the actors were going to sit and whatever. But when I got there, I realized that it was really more like it was like an autograph show, if you know what that is, or like a con, like a Comic-Con, where part of the admission price for these people who I guess had paid like $100 for this event. I don't know if that's the exact number. That's what I was told. That part of the deal was that they got to hang out with us and they got to take pictures with us and they got to get autographs and all that stuff, which would be fine. One, if I had been told about it beforehand, specifically, and two, if I had been paid for it. That's a job. So that night ended up being a job, and it was a lot of hours talking to a lot of people and signing a lot of autographs and taking a lot of pictures and doing the whole thing. Again, which would have been absolutely fine. I certainly don't blame any of the kids or the fans who were there. But no, none of us got paid for that, and that felt particularly disrespectful to me, and I think it felt that way for quite a few others as well. And so I think that was really the seed that grew into what eventually happened. Yeah, $88 a day. So right, yeah. And so here, I think I am correct about this, but if anybody wants to look it up and tell me I'm wrong, that's fine. Justin Bieber sold that house, I want to say, to Khloe Kardashian. Khloe Kardashian then sold that house to my former employer, and I believe he paid $16 million for it. So yeah, but I could be wrong about that, but I don't think I am. It's a lot of money either way. Yeah, it's a lot of money. Well, that was the whole deal. I mean, that was the whole deal that we had all basically started with him at the beginning, uh, and none of us had sort of leveled up as uh, as this as this company, yeah, sort of grew into this massive multi-million dollar thing. None of us were given the opportunity to sort of you know move up with him. That was the real issue. It wasn't that we weren't getting paid. We obviously got paid, but it was not commensurate with how much he was making and what we were bringing to his brand. We felt like we were really the reason why people were watching. So yeah, 100%, uh, without question. That was in fact what everybody was sort of saying. Um, you know, when we at one point when things started to get kind of uncomfortable, uh, we said, oh well, we should talk about this. We should go and discuss this with him. Um, but it was made very clear to us that because we saw people who went and asked people who asked for more money, people who asked for better working conditions. All of a sudden, they just weren't there anymore. Um, so yeah, there's a you know when you fear losing your job, like I said earlier, actors sometimes Colin Colin A. Borden, one of the other actors there, really said it perfectly. When you are afraid that you can't pay your rent and you don't know where your next meal is coming from. Like, this is really serious stuff. Um, and so, of course, even if things are uncomfortable, even if it's not the best situation, you think, oh, well, I guess I better shut up because I need the money. But then eventually it gets to be so much that that really, at least I decided that it was no longer worth it. It was no longer worth having that horrible feeling in my gut every single time that I went. Uh, it got to be kind of a miserable situation. And who wants to be miserable? Right. Okay. Yes. Yes. Correct. Yes, we were always. I mean, we were always bringing our own clothes. They never supplied any wardrobe for us at all. Um, and and yeah, there were times where I know this happened to quite a lot of people, where they would get the script and they would say, "Oh God, I have nothing. I have nothing that I can wear for this. I don't know what I have that would even be that would be right for this in any way." So oftentimes, yeah, we'd end up going out and buying something. And no, there was never any even um, uh, there was never really any expectation that they would reimburse us. We knew that they would never reimburse us ever for anything. Um, so and then on top of that, sometimes because of whatever it is that you happen to be doing, um, sometimes clothes get damaged, they get ripped, they get dirty. Again, there was never any indication that they would fix your suit or they would get your clothes dry cleaned or whatever. That never happened. Um, so that in fact she was correct. Yes. That's a fascinating question. Um, and it was most certainly a cult in the sense that there was a leader, there was a charismatic leader, and he's certainly charismatic. Most narcissists are charismatic. Um, and uh, and again, like with any cult leader, like with with Jim Jones or the leader of Scientology or whatever it happens to be, you do what the leader says, or there are consequences, there are repercussions. I mean, and just the fact that we all left, the ones who left, the ones who were fired. Um, but just the fact that we protested, I should say, just the fact that we protested and stood up for ourselves, um, there have been repercussions, and so it's very cult-like. And then, of course, the people who drink the Kool-Aid, of course, defend their oppressor. That happens a lot, and that has certainly happened in this situation. Um, and then, of course, once you're out, I have experienced a tremendous sense of relief. I'm actually glad that this all happened because I'm out. Um, and I can focus on other things, on better things, on bigger things, more exciting things, more things uh, that are well, like you talked about mental health, things that are healthier for my soul and for my heart and my brain and my emotions and all that stuff. Yeah, yeah, That's all correct. Absolutely. And again, that's the video that you are talking about in particular was done by crew members. They were crew. I feel like the crew. By the crew, I mean the sound people, the lighting people, the camera operators, the guys who worked on the sets, the grips, like everybody. They all had a much more difficult than we did, for sure, and continue to do so. And these are people who, throughout my tenure there, were just randomly fired, and the experience of getting fired from that place was generally you either there was a group chat for the crew members. Either you were just erased from the group chat, or you were sent a very like a one line email, which is what I got. In fact, my email said, oh, you are no longer needed. Period. Um, and so, but these guys, these crew members, were under constant stress uh, of being fired, and if they whispered anything at all, um, they would immediately lose their jobs, like immediately. And and these are all people who, I guess at this point I can say this. These are all people. A lot of those people are still there. Again, because they are afraid of losing their jobs. That's why they spoke anonymously. Um, but as far as I could tell, an overwhelming number of crew members were with us and behind us and understood. And in fact, we're going to join us for the actual protest. But then, sort of fear crept in, which is what happens. Um, and I also know of many actors who were still there, who felt the same way, who said to my face that they felt the same exact way, um, and who were seemingly prepared to join us, but then again, fear stopped them from doing that. And fear is a very powerful thing. But again, it comes back to integrity and honesty. Uh, I always feel like I can find another job, even though it's precarious in my line of work. I can find another job, but um, I can't get back my lost integrity. I can't get back my lost friends. I'd rather lose a job than a friend, good friend. So that's where I kind of stood on that. But you also, I don't know if you saw the video. I have to go pretty soon, but I don't know if you saw the video that we did for the new YouTube channel. I would love to talk about that before I go. Yeah, a bunch of us who are no longer at our former studio. I don't know if you've seen it, but we have a new YouTube channel, and we are in the midst of producing a new show, a show of our own, which is called Good Works, and it's spelled with an EWERKS. So the YouTube channel is called Good Works Productions, and the first show we're gonna do is called Good Works. We're all in it, and it's a comedy. It's different from what we have done in the past, and we're hoping that it grows into a thing where we can foster other people and other shows as well. The Good Works Productions can become sort of an umbrella for a whole bunch of different things, projects and people, shows and stuff like that. And all of us are formerly from that studio that we used to work at. And there are six of us who sort of put this whole thing together, but there are many, many, many others from our former studio who will be joining us as well. And we're really excited about it. So if anybody wants to go subscribe, they go to YouTube and subscribe. Also, we're doing an Indiegogo campaign. We're trying to raise funds in order to do this first show. We're doing pretty well so far. So you can look us up on Indiegogo, and it would be any help is tremendously appreciated. Yeah, yeah. Oh well, of course I'm on Instagram, and I'm on TikTok. On TikTok, I am Michael Vaccaro official, and on Instagram, I'm Michael Vaccaro. And I guess if people are still on Facebook, you can find me on Facebook as well. Um, Yeah, so those are the places where you can find me. Um, I'm there. And thank you so much for all of this. You can people can absolutely write me on all of those. You can write me on Facebook, you can write me on Instagram, and you can write me on TikTok as well, for sure. I try to be really good about answering everybody. So thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's right. I am so. I want to say I'm honored to be your first guest. I congratulations to you. I hope this turns out to be tremendously successful for you. Um, and it's fun talking to you. Thank you. All right, have a great day. Bye.